Miss Watch. We can't be late because we got a date right here at Sunny TV in the Sunny TV Clubhouse on the show that's on in the afternoon. All the cool kids, all the Sunnies out there, we know it as Afternoon Delight. That's right. I got my Sunny honey Mel right here. Speaking of right, we've got the Pop Culture Thunderdome quiz today. We have classic rock legends, the wifey edition. We're talking about classic rock wives.
Yeah.
Of course, we have Boat Drinks Meme It or Leave It today. I've got a very interesting Reddit rundown report from a young lady that had about enough.
Oh, okay.
We're going to get into that. And then, of course, Mel sent over 3 incredible news stories. Well, she thinks they're incredible. We're going to let her know. Are they incredible? Are they newsworthy?
Yesterday they were not.
Or are they not? Yeah, we'll see. It might be a good mix today. And then, of course, we have Hey Girl, Hey, horrible horoscopes. Sagittarius and Capricorn are on deck. That means my mom and sister are on board today. So I can't wait to read them to filth. All right. Let's get into Pop Culture Thunderdome. Give me some rock and roll wifey edition.
Pop Culture Thunderdome, getting a wife.
She's my cherry pie. Love that song. All right. True or false on this first one? Patty Boyd, who was married to both George Harrison and Eric Clapton, actually attended her own wedding to Clapton, knowing that her ex-husband, George Harrison, would be there as a guest.
It's true.
She don't care. Next up, Anita Pallenberg, the muse and longtime partner of Keith Richards, was so influential within the Rolling Stones that one of their personal assistants described her as what? A, the adult, the only adult in the room. B, Mick Jagger's true creative partner. C, the 6th Rolling Stone. Or D, Keith's spiritual guardian.
C.
Okay. Next up, true or false? Linda Eastman, who was married to Paul McCartney, was already an established and respected rock photographer who had shot iconic images of Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, and The Doors before she ever met Paul.
True.
Okay. Next up, Jerry Hall, who was with Mick Jagger over 2 decades, had 4 children with him, eventually discovered that their 1990 Bali wedding ceremony was legally invalid. Why? Is it A, they had forgotten to file the paperwork in the UK? Or B, the officiant was not legally qualified to perform the ceremony? C, the Bali ceremony was not recognized as legally binding in the US or UK? Or D, Jerry had never formally divorced her previous husband?
I think it's D. I'm saying D. Scandalous.
Next up, true or false? George Harrison had an affair with Ringo Starr's wife, Maureen, while he was still married to Patty Boyd, which contributed to the both Harrison and Starr marriages ending.
I think that's true.
God, that's horrible if it is.
Hateful.
Next up, Priscilla Presley was only 14 years old when she met Elvis in Germany in 1959. How many years did they date before Elvis finally married her?
I don't remember Baby Thunderdome.
Was it 3?
Oh.
Was it 5? Was it 8? Or was it 10?
It's Baby Thunderdome.
All right, Baby Thunderdome quiz, so Mel can get an answer right. Rush edition.
Oh, no.
Next up, true or false? A wife is someone you are married to.
True.
Okay, good. Excellent.
Rush edition.
Well, I'm just rushing. All right, next, number 7, right?
Uh-huh.
True or false? Anita Pallenberg, Keith Richards' partner, was present in the house when a 17-year-old groundskeeper took his life with a gun owned by Richards and while Richards was overseas recording.
True.
Okay. Next up, number 8, Patty Boyd was credited as the direct inspiration for some of the most iconic love songs in rock history. Which of the following songs was not written about her? Was it A, Something by George Harrison? Was it B, Layla by Eric Clapton? Was it C, Wonderful Tonight by Eric Clapton? Or D, Roxanne by The Police?
I'm saying D.
Okay. Number 9, true or false, Bianca Jagger, Mick Jagger's first wife, claimed they never actually consummated their marriage and that Mick married her specifically to stop her from leaving him.
I think that's true.
Oh, my.
Oh, my.
Then number 10, after splitting from Keith Richards in 1980, Anita Pallenberg eventually got sober and did something completely unexpected with the rest of her life. What was it? Was it A, she became a Buddhist monk? B, she graduated from St. Martin's in London and became a fashion designer? C, she ran for political office in Italy? Or D, she became a clinical psychologist specializing in addiction?
Baby Thunderdome, please.
Baby Thunderdome quiz so Mel can get an answer right. All right, Baby Thunderdome, question number 2. What do we call the special day when two people get married? Is it a birthday? Is it a wedding? Is it a graduation? Or is it a concert?
A wedding.
Good job. All right, let me get that answer key.
Dun, 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 dun.
Bing.
That's a rock edition.
Oh, love it.
Answer
All
keep
right.
getting.
Did George Harrison attend Patty Boyd's wedding to Eric Clapton?
True.
Yes. Not only did Harrison attend, he reportedly had a perfect and pleasant time. The three of them had maintained a strained, but essentially civil triangle for years, and Harrison showing up was considered in the world almost normal. Interesting.
Oh.
Next up, how did the Stones assistant describe Anita Pallenberg?
C.
Correct. Joe Bergman, the band's personal assistant from 1967 and 1973, said Anita was so embedded in the creative DNA of the group, kind of like Yoko Ono.
But yeah, she was bad though.
Interesting. All right, next up, number 3, was Linda Eastman established photographer before Paul McCartney?
Yes.
Correct. Linda was one of the most recent rock photographers of her generation before she ever crossed paths with a Beatle. She had a raw, intimate access to her subjects and was considered groundbreaking at the time. She was very much not looking for a rock star husband when she met Paul. All right, the Bali ceremony between Jerry Hall and Mick Jagger.
I said D, but I think it's C.
It is C. The Bali ceremony was not legally recognized in the U.S. or the U.K. They have a spiritual and cultural meaning, but carried no legal weight outside of Indonesia, meaning their 23-year relationship and 4 children together were technically outside a valid legal marriage the entire time. Hall later said that she did not like the idea of an annulment after 23 years, 4 children, but
Yeah.
legally there was nothing to divorce. Crazy. Do the work. Next up, did George Harrison have an affair with Ringo
Yes.
Starr's wife? That is correct. Golly. Had an affair with
Messy.
George had an affair with Maureen, Ringo's wife, which devastated Ringo and contributed directly to the end of both marriages. Patty Boyd later cited Harrison's repeated infidelities as the final reason she left him, which then opened up the door to her relationship with Eric Clapton.
Oh.
Look what he did to Sheryl Crow. Oh my God, that's why we got the Globe sessions. All right. How long did Elvis and Priscilla date before marrying
I said Baby Thunderdome.
in a court of law?
8 years.
Yes, 8 years is the answer. They met in 1959 and did not marry until 1967. Priscilla was 14 years old when they met, and Elvis reportedly kept her close throughout her teenage years. That is so I can't even finish that. It's
Ew.
so creepy. Next up, was Anita Pallenberg home when the groundskeeper...
Yes.
Okay, that is correct. On July 20th, 1979. I wasn't even born yet.
No.
Next up, which song?
Yes, you were.
No, I was not. No, I was not. July 20th, 1979. Guess what? I am not born yet.
Wait.
I am still baking in the oven
I'm
at this
81,
point.
and you're 2 years older than I am.
Right, I'm 70, October
You're
29th,
79. Never mind.
1979. Thank you, Jesus. All right, next up, which song was not written about Patty Boyd?
I said D, Roxanne.
That is correct. Something by George Harrison, Layla by Eric Clapton, and Wonderful Tonight by Eric Clapton were all directly inspired by Patty Boyd. I didn't know that.
Dang.
But Roxanne was written by Sting about a fictional French prostitute. Through the inspiration
Yeah.
is disputed
Turn on the
about
red light.
Yeah, interesting.
The red light district.
Now I see the truth. Next up, Bianca Jagger claimed the marriage was never consummated.
I said true.
That is correct. Bianca Jagger has made statements suggesting that the marriage was once a convenience and control on Jagger's part, and that the relationship was troubled from the very beginning, with Jagger reportedly beginning his relationship with Jerry Hall almost immediately after the wedding. Wow.
Messy.
Yeah. What did Anita Pallenberg do after getting sober?
I said Baby Thunderdome.
In a court of law?
I didn't say Buddhist monk.
No.
She graduated from St. Martin's.
Yes, and became a fashion designer.
I got a 90.
All right, that's still an A, and that's amazing. So let's go to Capybara. Hey, hey! Looking for your wild side with a gentle twist, Sonnies? Say hello to the Capybara Cafe, Florida's most unforgettable animal experience. Get up close and personal with capybaras, reptiles, and the cutest exotic creatures around, all while learning, laughing, and making a real impact. Every visit supports animal shelters, provides sustainability, and delivers educational magic for the whole fam. So don't just scroll, scurry over to thecapybaracafe.com and book your encounter now. The Capybara Cafe, where curiosity lives and your wild heart gets to roam. It is time for Meme It or Leave It by Boat Drinks. This first one. Hey guys, when I finally post my boo, I don't want to hear anybody saying, wow, my dad though.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Next up, this is for my mom.
Oh God.
I scream at airport police to look on their video for the guy who just stole my purse. The video shows me putting my purse in my suitcase.
That's
Susan, yes, definitely. Next up, this one's for me. Can't wait to wear this on the 4th of July
Oh my God,
family
stop.
cookout. Slut for America. I'm the
Take
prettiest
that,
girl
Old
in
Navy.
in the United States. Next up, among all the people who hate me, not one of them owns a Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
Very low budget enemies
Low
there.
budget.
Very low budget
Low budget.
enemies. Shout out, Anna. Next up, my toxic trait is seeing if food that I know hurts my stomach, but will still hurt my stomach this time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I know. I still eat it. I love fried food sometimes. God
Yeah.
sakes. Next up, little kid. I like chips. Me finishing the whole bag. You would have loved these.
Yes, that's me. Me.
Next up, what if slugs are just divorced snails? Michelle took the house.
That's what I think. I love it.
Next up, in 1871, a woman from Quebec hired a hearse with the sole intention of riding around town, smoking in the coffin bed and enjoying the view.
Oh my God, that's funny.
I love her. She has way good vibes.
I want to be friends with her.
Definitely. Golly. Next up, how did you find their profile? You only knew their first name. Me. I can do anything.
Yes, last one.
Last one. Remember when you could lay in one position for hours? Now you have to rotate me like a rotisserie chicken every 15 minutes or a hip hurts.
Yeah, and then you get a stiff neck and you
Right.
That's not fun.
Don't get those stiffies.
No,
Ugh. Let's go to Boat
stiffies.
Drinks. I need a stiff one.
Somewhere between lunch and legend, there's a place where the day slips off its mundane. Helmed by Captain Rob and Captain Whitney, part hosts, part legends, part beautifully orchestrated icons. This isn't just a bar, it's a daytime escape portal for people who refuse to live boring lives. Boat Drinks Bar is the vibe to thrive, to stay alive. You didn't plan to stay all afternoon, but Boat Drinks has never been concerned with your plans. Find your escape in Uptown St. Augustine, 123 San Marco Avenue, where the afternoons arrive fashionably late and leave comfortably transformed. Boat Drinks.
It's time for Adalway's Reddit Rundown Report. Today's Reddit Rundown Report is brought to you by the subreddit Am I the Asshole?
Yes, my favorite.
The TLDR. Am I the asshole for announcing at a party that my mom's friend might be interested in me? The face. Oh, Rachel would have loved that face. I'm just thinking about her. All right, here we go here. We're talking about this. The Opie is a 24-year-old female. And she's talking about a 60-year-old female named Jane and a 66-year-old male named Joe. I have known my mom's friends, Jane and Joe, since I was a kid. Recently, they began to comment that I've never had a boyfriend. To start, Jane said a local shop is hiring and I should apply because it would be a great place to meet boys. I said, thanks.
That's such an old person thing to say.
It is. I said, thanks, but I'm not looking for a boyfriend. Joe then started saying how I should try to find someone soon before it's too late. I tried to joke it off, saying I don't need a man and a boyfriend, and sounded like a lot of work. After they left, I told my parents that I didn't like those comments, and they made me uncomfortable. My parents agreed it was strange, but said I shouldn't overthink it. They came over again and pushed the discussion of relationships and how I should find a boyfriend. I tried to make a joke saying I was asked out, but turned it down. My parents seemed surprised, so I told a story about how 2 different guys asked me out, but I turned them down because they made me uncomfortable. Jane said I should at least go on a date with them because I don't know when I'll be asked again. I became angry and
Oh
I
my
told
God.
them I would rather be single than date someone who made me feel uncomfortable. Joe disagreed, saying it didn't matter. I should have taken the offers. I mentioned again to my parents how uncomfortable I was with these comments, but again, I was told to ignore them. I asked my parents to tell them to stop making comments about my relationships. I saw them again last week. My parents pulled them aside and told them to stop making those comments as they made me uncomfortable. They agreed to stop. Later, Joe asked me a question, and when I didn't give him the response he wanted, he said he'd ask about my boyfriend later and sent me back to normal because it's so funny. After Joe told everyone not to ask about any boyfriends because they wouldn't want me to get upset again, when Jane and Joe were leaving, they made a comment about me being alone for the rest of my life.
Oh my God.
The final straw was tonight. My parents had a party and Jane and Joe came. My parents agreed to remind them of my boundary and that I would leave if needed. Guess what? The jokes continued. Jane said how sad my life must be and how I will die alone. I started to leave when Joe said Jane was right, and it was almost pathetic that I didn't have a boyfriend yet.
Oh my God, shut up.
I was tired of them disrespecting my boundaries. So I turned to Joe and very, all caps, very loudly said, I think I finally understand why you and Jane keep bringing up my relationship status. It's because you're interested in me. That must be why you keep disrespecting my boundaries. Well, let me be clear. I am not interested in you, and frankly, it's creepy. You've known me since I was a child. I left after that.
Yes.
From what I've been told, they were embarrassed and left the party early. My best friend thinks I'm right, but my parents believe that what I said was uncalled for and disturbing. What they said made me feel disrespected, but maybe I was too harsh? So am I the asshole?
Nope.
No way.
They didn't listen. You kept saying,
Parents
kept saying.
too.
Yeah.
They didn't do enough.
They didn't listen. So she said, you know what? I got it.
If I was that adult, I would have stopped them mid-party and be like, hey, we already talked about this. Enough of that on the table. You got to put people in their place
She
sometimes.
did it. She did it 50 Cent style.
I think that she really had an opportunity and she stood up for herself, and
I
I'm
say
proud
yes,
of her
girl.
for that. And she didn't go super guttural, though it's pretty gross, but like she didn't like, you know what I mean? Like she didn't
just
say like
said it, mic dropped,
his
and walked
PP
out.
was small, you know what I mean? Like she could have really like laid into
Yeah, but
it
she
and like,
mic
you know,
dropped it and walked out.
She did. Absolutely. I got
I love
some
it. Are
notable
there
comments
updates?
here. No, I got some notable comments.
Okay.
So you'll love those. Let me shove these down your throat. So a lot of people are saying not the asshole.
Good.
Why are your parents okay with their friends bullying you? Those people would have never been allowed in my life again if they disrespected my child that way.
Yeah.
Opie said, oh my God, I was in sort of a similar situation where my godfather made me extremely uncomfortable, bad enough that the following week was all an anxious haze. And when I finally told my mom about it, he was never invited again. My mom is far from perfect, but she still validated my feelings and promised that I'd never have to see him again. If I didn't want to, I
And
will
why did she do
forever
the
be
same
grateful
thing with
for
her
that.
friends then?
I know, it's like, well, I'm so sorry. That was another commenter, but I think like that's exactly what these parents should have done. Like they kept placating their friends and they kept abusing
Yeah.
this. I mean, we've had family friends that were absolutely disgusting and disrespectful to both Shannon and I, and it was up to my parents to see what they were going to do about it. And if they didn't do anything about it, we were just going to handle it ourselves. And I got to give some snaps to my sister because she had a situation like that.
Let me tell you, Shan, you guys,
My sister is amazing.
David's sister does not F around.
I am an emotional basket case.
She's
My
like a
sister's
bull.
not. She's calm, cool, and collected. And she's a great principal for that. Award winning, if you want my opinion. But I will tell you, somebody from our past called her up and literally gave this like passive aggressive conversation to her, and my sister handled it. You know what? I'm not gonna continue in this conversation. I apologize. I'm going to end this conversation right now, and then when we can circle back and try to find some commonalities, we can meet toe to toe. I think my sister handles everything incredible.
Yeah, she's good.
So I got another comment here. I wouldn't let this go either. One shot for everyone they threw at Opie. Every time Opie sees Joe from this point on, I'd ask him, ready to take me on a date yet?
Ha!
How about that date, Joe? I'm waiting. And if he ever made another comment to me, I'd say right in front of his wife, when you gonna leave Jane and take me on a date? Or poke fun at their age and lack of manners. I know you're from the generation that's big on manners. Yours seem to be slipping. Oh, poor thing. You're getting so old, you've forgotten your manners. But I'm also petty, so not the asshole. I just think this is it's an interesting conversation of a young person sticking up to, because a lot of people have ageism out there. A lot of people,
yeah.
I mean, older people feel almost threatened, I think. When younger people are either performing better or doing better or getting more attention. And I feel like, you've got to respect people's boundaries. And that's definitely what was a line was drawn in the sand.
I am proud of her.
What do you think people hear when that makes me uncomfortable and respond by doing it more instead of less? I think it's disrespectful.
I think they think it's a joke. They're not taking you seriously.
Right.
And they're going to keep doing it.
Right.
That's what I think.
Her parents agreed the comments were inappropriate and then kept inviting these people over anyway. Where did they go wrong? Well, they didn't start.
They never took it
They
seriously.
did nothing.
They didn't take her seriously.
No. If your child or someone was making them, somebody was making them uncomfortable, what would you do though?
They'd be out.
What if it was me making your child uncomfortable?
I'd be like, David, you're making my kid uncomfortable. You need to stop. And if you kept on, I'd be like, I already told you. I'm not telling you again.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't do that.
I know, but I mean, I'm trying to
situation.
engage conversation here, just because this is an extraordinary event of where a young person stood up to somebody that was, her parents' friends.
I'm sorry.
I come from the generation of you respect your elders, you talk to your parents' friends with respect and grace. But here she was just pushed so much to the end. I don't blame her for losing her cool a little bit.
I think that people think it's funny to push people that way, and they think it's funny to make fun of boundaries. And not take them seriously.
I think her response was being effective.
I think it was awesome. She had to embarrass them.
Right, and that was the same uncomfortable energy they were putting on her. She took that formula, that potion, and put it right back into the person that gave it to her. I think how she responded was perfect. I think it was awesome. She stood up for herself, and for them to feel uncomfortable, well, you're just sitting in your own filth, honey. That's exactly what you did.
I love the way she did it.
Yeah. I thought that was a good one. All right, guys, let's go to Panache. Every guest, every time. Since 1987, Panache opened its doors to be a cut above the rest. Their mission at Panache is to care for their team, their guests, and community from scalp to soul and bring the joy to the world one service at a time. The Panache difference is their carefully chosen and highly trained staff there to exceed your expectations. The same goes for their elegant salon space, dedicated to guest comfort and devotion to innovation and artistry. They're focused on making your day and continually raising the bar by aligning with Aveda's mission. You gotta get Panache.com and get with it, boo. Mother, respect your father, respect your parents, and sometimes that gets clouded because where's your respect? Is that something that's grown as a child, or is that something that how do you qualify for getting respect from older adults?
Well, sometimes you have to check them.
I think so. I think it's a healthy thing. I think that what she did wasn't terribly horrible.
She didn't say any bad words.
Right, that's what I'm saying. She didn't go guttural. She wasn't like, you're a fat ass piece of shit. She didn't do that. She actually said, hey.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like that one. I think that was really cool to see how she handled it.
I like that one too.
All right, let's get into these 3 news stories, and we're going to be the judge and the jury to see if we like this or not. All right, here we go. Mel says, a woman put a vending machine in a bookstore and accidentally solved the art world. Mel says this is news. A Minneapolis artist named Lillian Luazon works at a bookstore called Inkwell Booksellers and noticed that some emerging local artists had basically nowhere to sell their work. So she built a mini vending machine, put it in a bookstore, filled it with tiny mystery envelopes of original art, priced each one at $1, and walked away. You put in 4 quarters, turn the wheel, and an envelope drops, and inside reveal an original piece of art from a real local artist who keeps every single penny. Nearly 3,000 pieces have sold. Artists who got their work in the machine have reported people showing up to their art fairs
I love this.
specifically because of what they found in the envelope. Some have landed actual commissions. The machine sells out every month and needs to be restocked. Lillian wants a second one. Mel, I think this could be news.
I think this is news because she took a really creative way to help these local artists.
I think this is great.
The barrier to
creation.
entity
Yeah.
for emerging artists in the United States is enormous. Gallery representation typically requires an established reputation before a gallery will even look at your art.
Right.
Art fair booth fees can run anywhere from $300 to over $2,000 for a single weekend event. Online platforms take a commission of up to 20%, and
Right.
a simple act of getting your art in front of people might actually buy it is one of the hardest problems for the entities to
And people
do.
wonder why I don't paint anymore because of this. It's so ridiculous out there to be able to get exposure. And as an artist, I think this is such an innovative way. It's a great marketing plan. I'm going to tag in Mayor on this one, Martelli, because
Yeah.
I think this would be something interesting because it's great exposure.
But the best part is the artist keeps 100% of the sale. The buyer
Love that.
gets a surprise, a story, a piece of original artwork for less than a cup of coffee. And the machine functions as a portfolio sampler because people who love what they find in the envelope go looking for more artists and more to buy.
I love the price point. $1, 4 quarters. Put
Yeah.
them in, and an envelope comes down, and then you get a little printout.
I think it's news.
I definitely think it's news.
I thought that was very creative the way she did it.
I definitely think that's really, really cool. Yeah, well, we're going to pass that one through.
News.
All right. Next up, Mel says scientists photographed 7.4 million plants and mushrooms, and now anyone with Wi-Fi can access all of it. All right, we'll find out if this is news. The Royal Botanic Gardens, Kew, in London, has been collecting plant and fungi samples since the time of Charles Darwin.
Oh.
They have 7.4 million species in their herbarium.
I love that. That's so
Pressed
fun to
leaves
say.
and stems and seed heads from every corner of the planet. Some are over 180 years old, and for most of that time, those samples are physically locked in a building in London, accessible to only scientists who get in there in person. So Kew spent years photographing every single specimen, trained AI to examine microscopic details to the human eye cannot detect, and made the entire archive feeling available to anyone in the world with an internet connection, all 7.4 million for free. Right now, at that archive is a part of a broader global database of 145 million plant, animal, and fungi samples that is also completely free and publicly accessible today.
So we all know that penicillin comes from fungi.
That's right.
Statins, which millions of people take every day to prevent heart disease, also come from fungi. So those two discoveries alone save hundreds of lives of millions of people.
Cordyceps.
And right now, there are an estimated 2 million fungi species that
Shanga.
have never been formally described by science.
Yeah.
Every single one of those unknown species could be holding a genomic secret that transforms medicine, agricultural, and material science. The problem has always been access because most of the world's scientific knowledge has historically lived behind institutional walls, in buildings, and in journals that cost thousands of dollars a year to access. So, the digitalization project eliminates that wall entirely. A researcher in Brazil, a student in St. Augustine, a botanist in Kenya, anyone who has Wi-Fi can now access and examine 180-year-old plant species collected during the time of Darwin, run AI analysis on it, and potentially discover something that changes the world.
I think this is really,
I think
really
this is
cool.
news.
Just because there's just so many species out there, and we have to be able to have an archive and study them. They basically made a plant library, a digital plant library.
I'd
Awesome,
say news.
awesome, definitely. All right, next up, Mel says a man.
Oh, I'm 2 for 3 right now.
True. Mel says a man skated 3,000 miles across America on a sobriety anniversary and ended up in Jacksonville. Ooh.
Oh, geez.
Chad
Poor guy.
Caruso got on a skateboard on May 1st at Venice Beach, California, pointed himself east and did not stop until June 8th when he rolled into Jacksonville, Florida, nearly 3,000 miles and 39 days later. No days off, 12 to 16 hours a day on a board, averaging 72 miles a day, live streaming the whole thing on YouTube, of course. He did not break his own Guinness Book World of Records, which he set back in 2023, skating from Venice Beach to Virginia Beach in 57 days. He beat that by 18 days. But here's the
Yay.
part I cannot stop talking about. 10 years ago, this man got sober. He had quit skating after an injury and says that is when everything went wrong. He picked up the board back up and got sober and decided the best way to celebrate a decade of choosing himself was to skate across the entire country and raise money for kids who need their own version of that lifeline. He ended up in Jacksonville, practically on our front porch. Mel, give me more details.
So this is news because he raised money for a nonprofit called Natural High, which funds mental health and addiction prevention programs in classrooms across all 50 states. All the way Natural High works, although the way Natural High works is not through fear-based anti-drug messaging, it has used decades of adolescent psychology research that's largely ineffective. It works by helping young people build their identity around something they love, a sport, a creative outlet, a passion, so that substances never fill that void again.
Love this story.
So he also set a Guinness Book of World Records with zero monetized assistance, averaging 72 miles a day for 39 days straight with no rest while live streaming, up to 14 hours of content daily. The journey was timed specifically to Mental Health Awareness in May, and it ended right here in our region in Florida. I think it is news because he's using what he experienced and what filled the void for him to help this nonprofit. And these
Inspiring.
kiddos.
Very, very inspiring story. I definitely think that's newsworthy.
News.
Now it's time for a little bit of wine at Bin 39.
Bin 39, the hidden gem of downtown St. Augustine since 2016. This is your secret getaway to a fabulous time. It's tucked away inside the lobby of the St. George Inn, and this charming spot boasts a courtyard setting that's straight out of a dream at the north end of St. George Street. Their wine collection features over 85 unique gems, is a journey into the extraordinary. You'll find wines from both small and large producers. They're open daily from 8 to 8 and Thursday to Sunday from 1 to 7. You got to check them out. Bin 39.
All right, let's
Here
get
it
into
is.
Hey Girl, Hey Horrible Horoscopes. We got my mom and my sister on deck. We got Sagittarius and Capricorn. Sagittarius, this one's for Shannon.
Oh, Lord.
The stars have gathered specifically to discuss you today, Sagittarius, and the meeting was not flattering. Jupiter, your so-called guardian planet, has clocked out, left the building, and forwarded all calls to Mercury, who, as you know, is in retrograde and actively harbors resentment towards you personally. Today, you will confidently give someone directions to place you to a place you have never actually been, get caught, and have to pretend your phone died to escape the conversation. Your GPS will reroute you into a neighborhood that feels wrong in a way that you cannot explain. You will park, go inside somewhere, come back out, and your car will be gone.
Oh, geez.
Not stolen. It was towed from a spot you were absolutely certain it was legal. The fine will be the exact same amount that you were saving for something else, and as you stand there on the sidewalk watching your afternoon collapse in real time, a single pigeon with eye contact and intention will find you.
Shit on her head.
Jupiter is not coming back. You are on your own out there. Yikes. Sorry about that car.
Yeah, not nice.
Capricorn, here's Susan.
God.
Oh, Capricorn. Sweet, deluded, overachieving Capricorn. You have spent this entire week telling yourself that you're fine. You're managing. You have everything under control. And Saturn has been sitting in the corner this whole time watching you say that with the quiet patience of someone who already knows exactly how this ends. Well, today is how it ends, Susan. Your alarm will either not go off or go off at the wrong time, and both options will lead to the same catastrophic morning. Something will spill on the outfit that you needed. The backup outfit is wrinkled. The backup to the backup
That's how it goes, man.
makes you look like you lost a bet. You will arrive somewhere important slightly too late to recover gracefully, slightly too early to pretend that you were never coming. Someone will call on you when you were least prepared. Your response will will trail off mid-sentence in a way that hangs in the air long after the room has moved on. And tonight, when you finally sit down in that one chair in your house that brings you comfort, you will notice it is broken. It has been broken for a while. You just never sat down long enough to notice. Well, Saturn noticed, Mom. There
Oh
you
my
go.
God.
Sonnies, that's a wrap on this throbbing Thursday. We chilled, we thrilled, we laughed, we thrived, and most importantly,
We survived.
that's right, Sonnies. We will be back, the whole band back
Oh,
together.
band's back together. It's Friday.
We got a big show ahead of us tomorrow. We've got Chef Ellie, we got Jenna, we've got Ashim, we've got Adawe,
We got 'em all,
Mel,
guys.
we got me, and we got a little something with Leandra. We've got a lot tomorrow.
It's gonna be a good
so
Friday.
Buckle up, Buttercup. We got a Freaky Friday just for you. All
Yes.
right, Sonnies, hit that share button. Bye,
Bye,
babies.
guys.
Share the show.
Got
you
to
can
share the show.
Come on now, share the show.
Hit that little
Arrow,
Share the show. Oh my God,
share
and now
it.
do
She's
it.
getting annoyed, doesn't
How
like the
much
song.
more?